The Veltar had conquered 17 galaxies without breaking stride. Their crystalline ships cut through the void like silver knives through silk, leaving behind worlds either subjugated or reduced to stellar ash. For 3 million years, they had been the apex predators of the cosmos, their psychic abilities allowing them to dominate any species they encountered. Fear was a concept they had evolved beyond. Their neural networks were hardwired for conquest, their emotions limited to cold satisfaction and calculated ambition. They had faced the plasma-breathing Zephyrians of Andromeda, the hive-mind collectors who consumed entire star systems, and the reality-bending architects who could fold space-time like origami. All had fallen before the Veltar's relentless advance. Then they reached the Milky Way. Commander Dexterah floated in the neural command chamber of the flagship Inevitable. Her 6 arms interfaced with the ship's consciousness as reconnaissance data flooded her mind. The third planet from the yellow star showed promise. Abundant water, breathable atmosphere, and what appeared to be a primitive bipedal species that had barely achieved interplanetary travel. These humans possess no psychic defenses, reported her tactical officer. Their technology is laughably primitive. Their largest weapons could barely scratch our smallest scout ship. Zyxterah's mandibles clicked in what passed for amusement among her kind. Then we shall make this quick. Standard subjugation protocol. Break their spirit, harvest their resources, move on. The first wave of Veltar ships descended upon Earth's major population centers, expecting the usual pattern: terror, surrender, and the grateful acceptance of their new overlords. Instead, something unprecedented happened. The humans fought back, not with advanced weapons or superior technology, but with something the Veltar had never encountered in their eons of conquest: desperate, creative, utterly unpredictable fury. When their cities burned, humans didn't surrender. They dug tunnels and fought from the rubble. When their governments fell, they formed guerrilla cells. When their weapons failed, they improvised new ones from scrap metal and household chemicals. But it wasn't just their resistance that unnerved the Veltar. It was their complete inability to be psychically dominated. Impossible, Zyxterah hissed as another human prisoner resisted her mental probes. The creature, a female with defiant eyes and scarred hands, simply stared back at her, unbroken. "You can torture this body," the human said in broken Veltar, somehow having learned their language in mere months. "But you cannot touch what makes me human." For the first time in millions of years, Zyxterah felt something cold slither through her consciousness. The sensation was so alien, so utterly foreign, that it took her several moments to identify it. Fear. The war that followed defied every strategic model in the Veltar database. Humans didn't fight like any other species. They fought like cornered animals with the intelligence of gods and the stubborn refusal to accept defeat. They turned their own planet into a death trap, using guerrilla tactics that bordered on insanity. They launched suicide missions that shouldn't have worked, but somehow did. They allied with their enemies, shared technology with rivals, and united their fractured species in ways that made no logical sense. Worst of all, they began to win. Not through superior firepower or advanced technology, but through sheer, bloody-minded persistence and an inexplicable ability to find hope in the darkest circumstances. They reverse-engineered Veltar technology from wreckage, turned captured weapons against their creators, and somehow maintained morale even as their world burned around them. As Zyxterah watched her supposedly invincible fleet being systematically dismantled by a species that had been spacefaring for less than a century, she finally understood why humans were different. They had spent their entire evolutionary history being afraid of predators, of starvation, of each other, of the dark. They had been forged in the crucible of fear and emerged not broken, but unbreakable. The Veltar had forgotten how to be afraid. The humans had never forgotten how to fight back.